Hey guys, welcome to another edition of the vlog. Another grey and gloomy day in Berlin. It's not known for the weather here, but what can we do? We have to let the sun shine in our hearts, and that's all we can do, I guess, in these dark winter days in the middle of a lockdown. So on these days, and also in connection with the lockdown, sometimes you wonder what the meaning behind all of that is. And then the big question is, does it have to have a meaning? Or is life itself and the world meaningless? Philosophies that claim that it doesn't have any meaning, Advaita would be one of them. An Indian philosophy that basically says things are how they are and that's it. It doesn't have to have a meaning. I personally don't believe that, or maybe I just hope that it is not that way. I really believe it does have a meaning, but it's just the question, what meaning is it? And to me, it sometimes feels like we're playing hide and seek. That means when we come to this place, to this planet, we forget who we are. And I wouldn't even say we forget it just when we pop out of the womb. I would say it happens when we are children. Because as a child, we don't have a sense of an I, of a separation from it all. That's why we kind of just play and we're lost in our games and the creativity. We're lost in the here and in the now. We don't think so much about the future because why would we? We're just happy being, whatever we are. And then something creeps up that the grown-ups kind of tell us, okay, but that's not really the way how this works here. You have to be a person. And I talked about persona. The word comes out of the Greek language, and it basically means mask. So they're basically telling us, okay, you have to wear a mask. So just pick up what mask you want to wear. And that's when the whole separation, the distancing from ourselves just happens. But maybe it's even meant to be that way. I was talking about this idea that maybe God or the force or the oneness was here and was just bored, because our lives are deeply rooted in duality. So there's a good, there's a bad, there's a beautiful, there's an ugly, and if we wouldn't have one side, we wouldn't have the other side. So maybe it's all like a cosmic game. So eventually when this ego develops, because people tell us you have to wear a mask, and we get hurt also by people, so very often that's when the separation happens. Then we are these two people. We are the self and we are the ego. But maybe that's meant that way, because then the rest of our lives, we can find ourselves again. So it's basically that children's game, hide and seek. So you hide first, and then seek, and eventually you'll discover what you were at the beginning. So now somebody might say, what a waste of time. Maybe that is a waste of time, but also it definitely keeps things interesting and exciting. And the self can experience itself within that game. So maybe the whole thing is not that serious. And I really believe it isn't, because ultimately we're all out of that game eventually. In a couple of years, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Even if you're 2, eventually it'll be over. But what the game tries to make possible for us is to discover the truth that we're not that person that we created out of whatever reason, mainly out of not knowing how to deal with this world. And you need an ego in the world because you have to have a schedule. We have to make money, all these things, that you really need an ego for, because as a child we would only play. The opportunity that this gives us is that maybe we can discover who we truly are, why we're still here. So I truly believe my mother now, she died in August 2019. My mother now is again what she was before she was hiding. And maybe we have a chance to be that while we're still in the body. So that's basically the idea behind waking up, behind letting go of the illusion or the mask of the ego. So maybe it's all just a big joke, a big game, and we shouldn't take it so serious. At the same time, when you're in the game, it seems so real that you really believe you're in that game. It's a bit like in the movie The Matrix. You really think you are in the game, you are the game. There is no possibility that this isn't real, what we experience here. But having that in the back of your mind, questioning what drama unfolds in front of you, I think is really, really helpful, because then you can see all of this with a sense of humor and you can smile about it. The whole drama with Corona and where this all goes. I mean, what a great game in a way. I mean, who makes up that shit? I mean, unbelievable. I mean, if this is, sometimes our minds are really crazy, but I don't think even the craziest mind could have come up with this story. I mean, what an amazing story. I mean, who would have thought that that would be possible? But having the background idea of, oh, well, it's just a way to find myself. And actually, that's a great chance, because I think the more intense it gets, the more the challenge becomes to keep that story up, because you have these moments when you realize this can't be real. It must be an illusion, because, I mean, this is so crazy. That reminds me when I was in New York and the World Trade Center collapsed, the day. I think I was never as close to enlightenment because you couldn't just believe. I mean, your mind, it was like a koan, what they do in Zen Buddhism, when they say, what's the sound of one clapping hand? And I had lived next to the building for 4 years and I just couldn't believe what just had happened. And you are at the point where you think, this must be an illusion here. This can't be real. So that's the idea behind the hide and seek. So we're hiding from ourselves to be able to seek ourselves. And that's the search. And that's the path we have to go. And then at the end, we find ourselves and we realize that we were always there. We just had forgotten. I guess that's what a lot of people say when they reach a state that is called somehow something like enlightenment. So they call it the gateless gate. So you walk through that gate that wasn't a gate, but you thought it was a gate. And then you suddenly realize, oh wow, it was always here. So that's something that's really interesting to keep in mind. Also, because things are so crazy at the moment, maybe it's just the drama that has to unfold to find yourself. And I think a lot of people are waking up now. They're like, oh wow, this is all so crazy. I mean, even politics and all that stuff, it seems so crazy. It seems like that can't be real. I mean, storming Capitol Hill, then Trump gets impeached. I mean, this is all insane. I mean, can this really be real? And will it help to find ourselves? And I really believe it does. I mean, a lot of people found themselves in the darkest hour, so let's see it as a chance to find out more about the illusionary state of reality and all these other things like yoga, meditation, and even art, be it photography, be it painting, be it just expressing yourself, are all just ways to help yourself to get in touch with who you truly are and to find freedom from the illusionary self, stop the hiding, and to be able to finally find yourself. And then you don't have to wait until you'll find yourself when you leave this body. So, food for thought for today. What is today? It's the 14th? It is the 14th. So, thank you so much. And I see you guys tomorrow. Have a good evening. Bye for now.